Here is the entirety of the Five Nights at Freddy's storyline in just 10 minutes. Scott Cawthon is the FNAF game developer, and this game wasn't his first one. Before FNAF, he created a game called Chipper and Sons Lumber Co., and it had criticism for the animals seeming like scary animatronics. This is what inspired him to create a scary horror game involving animatronics, and thank goodness he did, because it took off. We begin in the 1970s at Fredbear's family diner. The diner was opened by William Afton and Henry Emily, and the four animatronics present were Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, the Puppet, and Golden Freddy. This diner was created to represent a local family restaurant that provided entertainment through singing and dancing animatronics. It is reminiscent of real-life family entertainment places such as Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese's, and if you have been to either, you know how creepy the animatronics are. Zoom ahead to 1983, where the chilling Bite of 83 unfolds, leaving a haunting mark on the franchise's narrative. The Take Cake to the Children minigame, a part of the complex lore of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, depicted a somber scene where a character named Charlotte is seen locked outside of Fredbear's family diner. It was an important moment that led to the introduction of the Puppet, a character central to the series' mythology. Meanwhile, the airwaves carried the cheerful jingles of Fredbear and Friends. A stark contrast to the unfolding drama, the year 1983 marked a significant chapter in the saga. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 gave us a glimpse into the nightmares of Michael Afton, haunted by the characters from the show, now twisted into terrifying forms known as the Nightmare Animatronics. These nightmares were a prelude to the infamous Bite of 83. An event that sent shockwaves through the community and led to the closure of Fredbear's family diner during the incident. A character known as the Crying Child was coerced into Fredbear's mouth by his brother and his friends, leading to Fredbear clamping down on the child's head. This event, often confused with another event called the Bite of 87, marked a pivotal moment in the FNAF storyline, which added layers of complexity and intrigue to the game's narrative. After 83, William Afton got into some really shady stuff. He was using those nightmare animatronics to scare kids he'd taken. This was all going on while he was setting up the place that turned into Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. It was a messed up time that set the stage for everything that came after its sister location. Next is in 1985. During this time, there was this incident where kids went missing, and it got so bad that the place had to close down. Turns out, someone hid the kids' bodies in the animatronics, including Golden Freddy then. This weird thing happened where the puppets seemed to make the animatronics come alive, like the kids' spirits were in them. People started complaining about a stink coming from the suits, and that was it. Freddy's had to shut the doors, but they didn't get rid of the animatronics. They kept them around, probably planning to use them again when they opened up another spot. From 1985 to 1987. They tried to update the old animatronics with some new tech, but it didn't pan out. They ended up just tearing them apart for bits and pieces to use elsewhere. In 1987. In early November, Freddy's decided to give it another go, opening up a new spot with shiny toy animatronics and bringing back the puppet. They thought about fixing up the old crew with some new gadgets. But that plan fell through. Those old animatronics ended up in the back, just spare parts now. The place wasn't even open for a full month when everything went sideways again. A few days before they had to close up, some kids ended up dead. And then the Bite of 87 happened. That was the last straw. They scrapped the new toys but kept the old ones, thinking maybe they'd try again later. In 1988 to 1993, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza swung its doors open again. They had this character, Spring Bonnie, tucked away in the safe room, not out for the public to see. And the phone guy? He was the night guard for most of the time the place was open, keeping an eye on things and recording those messages for anyone who'd take over the night shift. In 1993, in early November, the phone guy was busy making recordings for whoever would be the next poor soul to take the night guard gig. But during that week, things went south. All the animatronics ganged up on him, and Golden Freddy finished the job. Not long after, Michael Afton, going by Mike Schmidt, lands a job there. He makes it through the week, but on the last night, he messes with the animatronics settings, cranking up their aggression. That stunt, plus the stench he was carrying, got him the boot by the time the new year rolled around. The place had closed. In the mid-late 90s, William Afton, the man behind the curtain, had a grand plan with his fun-time animatronics. They were performers with a dark purpose, to lure kids away. His vision took a grim turn when Circus Baby, one of the animatronics, accidentally killed his daughter, Elizabeth, right before the big opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World. They scrapped the launch, blamed it on gas leaks, and quietly dealt with the tragedy. Elizabeth's spirit didn't rest though. It lived on through Circus Baby, marked by her now green eyes. The fun-time animatronics were then relegated to a rental service, a far cry from the spotlight they were built for. Meanwhile, Afton had another task for his son, Michael, to fix the aftermath of Elizabeth's death. But as Michael worked at the rental facility, his father was busy at Freddy's, dismantling the old animatronics. That's when the spirits of the children who had gone missing there broke free. They chased Afton until he hid in the spring Bonnie suit, which tragically snapped shut, ending his life. Michael's ordeal didn't end there. He was deceived by Circus Baby into entering the scooping room, where Enid, a conglomeration of animatronics, used the scooper on him. Enid then wore Michael's body like a suit to make an escape. Over time, Michael's body decayed, but the remnant within him, a kind of animatronic life force, kept him walking and talking, a hollow shell driven by his sister's echoing voice. In 2023, the Fazbear's Fright was set to open at an amusement park, but the guard quit. Phone Dude called him back a week before launch. Then, 5 Nights at Freddy's 3 happened. They found Springtrap, a real animatronic, and put him in the attraction. On the 6th night, a fire broke out, and after, they auctioned off the remains. In fall, post FNAF 3 Henry Emily advertised for a franchisee, which Michael Afton took up, leading to the events of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. As the new owner, Michael gathers all the scrap animatronics, setting the stage for Henry's plan to end the haunted legacy of Freddy's. In 2029 was the VR game, FNAF. Help Wanted. You're basically playing through a bunch of creepy mini-games from the Freddy's universe. But here's the twist. There's this virus-like character, Glitchtrap, lurking in the game. He's bad news, and by the end, he manages to hitch a ride out of the game with a player named Vanny. It's like he's planting the seeds for whatever crazy stuff is coming next. In 2030, Freddy's Fazbear's Megaplex opens. From 2030 to 2035. In 5 Nights at Freddy's AR Special Delivery, the story unfolds with Glitchtrap wreaking havoc in the Fazbear Funtime service systems. Meanwhile, Vanny, under Glitchtrap's influence, moves to the Pizzaplex. This is also when most of the Tales from the Pizzaplex stories happen, though their exact timeline isn't clear. It's a chaotic mix of tech gone wrong and sinister plots playing out in the shadows of the animatronic world. In 2033, in the retro CDs, Gregory lures 5 therapists to the Pizzaplex and uses hacked animatronics to eliminate them. Meanwhile, Tony Becker investigates the arcade high score initials GGY, but ends up being another one of Gregory's victims at the Pizzaplex. In March 2035 released is 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Gregory finds himself trapped inside the Pizzaplex. The chaos that ensues leaves the glam rock animatronics in ruins. Vanny manages to break free from Glitchtrap's influence, and the Pizzaplex meets its end after Gregory's showdown with Burntrap. From 2035 to 2036 in Security Breach Ruin, Cassie gets tricked into going to the deserted Pizzaplex by the Mimic. There she encounters what she thinks are Gregory and Helpy, but they're actually a main endoskeleton and a Glitchtrap copy. Glitchtrap takes over MaskBot and hands Cassie the Varney mask, leading her to unwittingly release the Mimic later in 5 Nights at Freddy's Help. Wanted 2, the protagonist mysteriously appears at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place wearing the Vanny mask. When an AR inhibitor gets turned off, it sets the stage for Vanny to confront and ultimately destroy Glitchtrap. That wraps up our quick tour of the 5 Nights at Freddy's lore. We've hit the highlights from its start to the present. Keep an eye out for more, and maybe you'll find yourself part of the fan conversation.